Coronavirus epidemic! It's attacking! It's gonna kill us all! We've heard it all, and who knows who to trust? The government says one thing, the leader of the free world says another, and the World Health Organization says something else. With their coronavirus conference being cancelled because of coronavirus, who knows who to trust? Well, I have the solution for you guys. I am a UK doctor, and I'm going to break down for you the main myths and at the same time teach you about what coronavirus is and how to avoid it. So let's get right into it. So the first myth is that all people who get the disease get sick. So coronavirus is a massive spectrum of disease. It ranges from everything like people not being sick, which is the majority of people, to those having minor symptoms like a runny nose, fever, cough, all the way up onto the extreme section like respiratory distress, needing ventilators, and potentially even death, which is obviously the main thing that the media seems to be portraying these days. So it's important to realize that even though the death rates are high, actually the majority of people who get the disease are recovering and do not contract the disease again. Okay? It's not just going to keep going round in an infinite loop, killing everyone. Okay? It will stop eventually. So the second thing that is filled with misinformation online is that young people do not get sick. It's less likely that young people get the disease, but the vast majority of people who have it are aged between 30 and 69. That's about 75%. Even though the majority of deaths are in the more elderly population, the majority of people who have the disease are much younger. And there are people who are younger that have died from coronavirus. The majority of them have significant underlying disease, though, from other things. And coronavirus knocked them off after them already having that. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're young and you're healthy, as probably most of you who are watching this are, healthy physically, but if you're watching me, you probably are not healthy mentally, especially if you're a subscriber, because that means that me and you connect in some way. And if you do get sick, then if it's bad enough that you need to go to a hospital, then that's fine. But if you can avoid it, it's actually best to self-quarantine at home, where you're not coming into contact with any other people with other diseases. And you're also not giving those others the risk of contracting the disease from you. And if you are living in the UK, then 111 is a very good resource to call for extra advice specific to your case. People looking for their own information online, they always seem to end up in the wrong place. Like, oh my God, I have cancer. Okay, myth number 3. Now, this isn't common, but there are a few people out there who have said this to me, that the virus will just disappear when summer comes along. Well, first of all, if you're in England, you realize that there is no difference in the temperature between the summer months and the winter months, so the chance of that happening is nil. And also, if you don't live in England and you're in the US, you've realized that your president has been one of the biggest advocates of this. Take a look.
The virus. They're working hard. Looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true.
You know the fact that Trump has said this? means something about its accuracy. I don't think you need a fact check website to double check that. That being said, there is something about a warm climate which can be protective for the disease, as we're seeing much less of the disease transmission around, say, African countries. There could be other reasons interplaying with that, and a lot more research needs to be done about the effects of weather on coronavirus, but it can have a protective effect. That being said, Tom Hanks has developed the disease even though he was in a warm country at the end of summer. So it must not be protective for everyone. Myth number 4 is that you can make your own hand sanitizer with vodka. So take a look at this video.
As you know, this coronavirus is going around the world. It's killing a lot of people, making people sick. Fortunately, there's still a lot of alcohol left in the stores. I used to drink a lot of this in college. Still, it's cheap, but still good. And combining these 3 ingredients, you can make a pretty effective hand sanitizer.
If someone drinks the same thing that they say they can make hand sanitizer from, also you have to question that person's sanity. But despite that, if you look at the scientific evidence, to get an optimal hand sanitizer for coronavirus, which, by the way, hand sanitizer is not the optimal thing to use. It's much better to use warm water and soap, because then you're actually washing the virus off rather than just killing it. You need an alcohol content for hand sanitizer between 60 and 90%, ideally. If you take something like vodka and then you dilute it into aloe vera, nature's goodness, which nature gave you the coronavirus. Don't trust nature. So vodka is 40%. If you dilute it, it doesn't take a genius to realize, wait, if I dilute vodka from 40%, I must have hand sanitizer with an alcohol content of 80%. That's right, isn't it? Well, no. If you dilute vodka, your percentage will be less than 40%. And it's not going to work as well as it could have otherwise. So even though you might not have access to hand sanitizer, you can just use a tap and save yourself a bunch of money. Don't trust all these people who've stockpiled hand sanitizer ready to sell it to you for 16 times the price, okay? Don't do it. Now, the last myth, which is probably the most common that I've heard from people, understandably, isn't it just the same as flu? Well, it's a virus, and flu is a virus. Fair enough. I think that's about where the similarities end. Yes, they're also transmitted by a similar way, but the coronavirus has a mortality rate in the general population of between 2 and 3%, and the flu, the seasonal flu's mortality rate sits at around 0.5% or less. So if you just compare them on numbers alone, then you're looking at a virus which is between 4 and 6 times stronger than flu. And if you take that mortality figure and apply it to the more elderly population, then that number increases even up to 10 times stronger than flu. So it's not the same as the flu. And even Trump has suggested that you could use a flu vaccine to fix coronavirus.
The same vaccine could not work. You take a solid flu vaccine, you don't think that would have an impact or much of an impact on corona?
No.
I guess we wouldn't be having this conversation if you could, because that means we would have fixed it already. So no, you can't use flu treatments or HIV treatments or any other viral treatments to treat coronavirus. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem. And actually trying to develop treatments or even a vaccine for coronavirus will take a significant amount of time, just to make sure that the vaccine is safe, because the last thing you want to do is take something and give it to people when it's been untested and make the thing 10 times worse. So that's why there are scientists working around the clock now to try and discover something, but whether they do or not is a question for our future selves, because we're not going to know that for a long time. Well, I hope you found this video informative, guys. Give me a thumbs up, share it. Hopefully we can spread some information, not disease, and subscribe for more good stuff. If there's anything I didn't cover in this video that you want to know about, specifically about coronavirus mainly, but anything else that you're interested in, then drop me a comment down below and I will try and cover it to the best of my ability. Peace out, have a good day, and don't get sick.